Hello and welcome to my little bookish corner of the internet. My name's Harriet. Today I'm going to be doing a big fat book haul. Now these books I have collected over a matter of months, so please don't judge me. There are quite a few and I have been going to a lot of charity shops as well, so a lot of them are secondhand. Some of them have also been gifted to me. So yeah, I just want to put that in here first because there are quite a lot of books. I can't even pick them up. The pile is so big. So yeah, get yourself a nice hot drink, please, because it's going to be a really long video, and let's get into it. I have a feeling I'm going to need this coffee to keep myself going because it's going to take a while. Okay, we'll start off with two that I am probably the most excited about because of how cheap they are and how beautiful they are. Now they are both repurchases, so I do already have these books, but these editions are so much nicer and they just feel so kind of old-fashioned and vintage. So we've got Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. It's a hardback. It's just so lovely. And inside there's a couple of illustrations and things as well. Not many, but it feels just super high quality and really old-fashioned. And I found this in Oundle, which is a little village near where I live. It's very fancy. I felt a bit out of place walking around there, to be honest, but it was worth it to go into the Oxfam charity bookshop and find this. And then I also found the same edition but as Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. It's one of my favourite books. It's definitely worth the hype in my opinion. Again, this has got the little illustrations and things throughout, and it's just so lovely. I just feel really happy to have these editions, and I literally just keep them on my shelves because they look really nice. So yeah, they were a very good find. I believe they were £2 each, which is just crazy cheap for a hardback. So yeah, very glad that I found those before someone else did. And this isn't going to be in any particular order, by the way, because I don't have time to do that. I'm just going to pick them up and go. So my mum got me a book from a charity shop as well. She had absolutely no idea what it was about, and to be honest, neither do I, but she just liked the way that it looked. So it's called Olive Again by Elizabeth Strout, and I've never heard of this author, but apparently they wrote the book My Name is Lucy Barton. I've also never heard of that. Yeah, it's a really lovely book. I think she said she paid either £1.50 or £2 for this, but let's read the blurb because I don't know what it's about. Olive Again follows the blunt, contradictory, yet deeply lovable Olive Kitteridge as she grows older, navigating the second half of her life as she comes to terms with the changes, sometimes welcome, sometimes not, in her own existence and in those around her. Olive adjusts to her new life with a second husband, challenges her estranged son and his family to accept him, experiences loss and loneliness, witnesses the triumphs and heartbreaks of her friends and neighbours in the small coastal town of Crosby, Maine, and finally opens herself to new lessons about life. So I feel like this is going to be very much focused in on kind of human relationships and kind of finding meaning in life and yourself. So I feel like it would be a really nice read for wintertime or spring, especially spring because that's kind of the start of new beginnings, and I feel like this will be a really nice book to read then. That also gives me some time to read it because I've got so many books. I need to make some time in my life to read this, and it will probably be spring in 2022, which sounds really scary, but if I read it before then fantastic. With all of these books as well, if you have read them or have heard anything about them that's good, definitely let me know. Try not to spoil them for me, please, but let me know if they're worth reading and if you think I will enjoy them. And then next we've got a book that I have actually heard of, but I have never even thought about picking up until I saw it in a bookshop. Again, this was £1.50. So this is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry, and I did pick it up for the cover because it's just amazing. Like if you want someone to buy a book, make it look like this. So again, I'll read the blurb to you. I won't read it all. London, 1893. When Cora Seaborn's husband dies, she steps into her new life as a widow with as much relief as sadness. Retreating to the countryside with her son, she encounters rumours of the Essex Serpent, a creature of folklore said to have returned to roam the marshes. So I don't know if this is going to be kind of like a fantasy book, or if it's magical realism, or if it's not got any fantasy in it at all. I have absolutely no idea. I did pick it up because it looked nice, but I had heard some really good reviews about it as well, so yeah, I'm very happy to have found this. And then we've got one of those classic books that I probably should have read by now and I just haven't, and that is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I've obviously seen the film, most people have, so I figured that I would read the novel version of it. I've heard very mixed reviews about this. Some people really like it and some people really hate it, but I like dinosaurs and apparently I like science fiction at the moment. I definitely like fantasy, so I do think that I will hopefully enjoy this. And then we've got a book that I honestly can't believe that I found in the charity shop. I've been talking about it for months, saying that I wanted to pick it up, but the version I was looking at is like £20 because it's a hardcover. But I actually prefer the way this edition looks. So it is The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. How many times have I said that I want to pick this up? And I found it in a charity shop for £2. I'm just chuffed. And I really like the size of it as well, the feel of it. It feels very old-fashioned and vintage. And similar to how the Jurassic Park one feels actually. But yeah, I'm really excited to get back into the world of The Lord of the Rings and read more of J.R.R. Tolkien's works. I've read The Hobbit now and I've read all 3 of the Lord of the Rings books, so it's high time I got to this too. And then we've got 2 books by the same author, and I got them from different stores. So I got one of them from Poundland for £1, obviously, and then I got the other one from the charity shop for £1.50. And it's strange because they are both in large print. Now, I wasn't sure whether to buy these because I kind of didn't want to take that away from someone that needs it. However, I am going to be redonating them afterwards. I'm not going to keep these. So it's kind of like I'm borrowing it, I suppose, but I paid money for it. But I wanted to read some writing by this person for a really long time. And I hope I'm going to say their name right. But it is Yaa Gyasi, and we've got Transcendent Kingdom, and then we've got Homecoming. Now, these are both large print, so they are pretty big. And the writing is also very large. But that doesn't bother me as long as I can then give them away to someone that needs it afterwards. I'm fine with that. But I've heard that this author's writing is really beautiful and poetic, and that they touch on a lot of topics that not a lot of people write about. So Transcendent Kingdom is about a Ghanaian family in the contemporary South. At once a profound story about race in America, and an astonishingly intimate portrait of a young woman reckoning spiritually and intellectually with a legacy of unmanageable loss. So I feel like this focuses a lot on mental health and also really dives deep into the main character's mind and feelings and things like that. I don't know too much about it, I've just heard really good reviews. The cover that most people have, the green one with the pink, it's just stunning, so beautiful. But I'm really, really happy that I found this. And then Homegoing is set in 18th century Ghana. It's about 2 half-sisters, Effia and Essie, and they're born into different villages. Effia is eventually married to an Englishman and lives in comfort in the palatial rooms of Cape Coast Castle. Unbeknownst to her, Essie is imprisoned beneath the castle's dungeons, sold with thousands of others into the Gold Coast booming slave trade, and then shipped off to America where her children and grandchildren will be raised in slavery. So this sounds like it's going to be crazy hard-hitting, really eye-opening and really sad and emotional. But I'm excited to read this. And then very recently I went to York with my partner. We just had kind of a look around the Wall and all of the amazing structures they have there, the architecture. It's such a beautiful place to go to. We stopped and had lunch as well, and it was just really nice. And then I found this little bookshop. I can't remember what it's called, but I will leave the name on the screen because it's so cool in there. So basically I have all of these rare books downstairs, and then as you go upstairs, each section has like different genres of books. And for some reason, they're all really cheap. Most of them, I believe, are new. The 3 that I picked up are definitely new, and they're part of the SF Masterworks, so they're like a new edition as well. But they are all by Ursula Gwynn. I cannot find her books anywhere in charity shops. I've tried so many. I call them before I go and ask as well. They tell me they don't have them in because they're very popular, but then I never hear anyone talk about the author, so I don't know how true that is. But anyway, I picked up a physical copy of The Lathe of Heaven because I read this on Kindle. It's no longer on Kindle Unlimited, which is very annoying, but I'm very happy to have a physical copy of this. I wasn't originally going to get the SF Masterworks version because some of them are a little bit ugly, but after reading this novel, I understand why it looks the way that it does, and I feel like that's given me a little bit of love for it because before I thought it was absolutely hideous. But now I'm not bothered, so I'm very happy that I found this. This was £3.99, as was the next one, which is Worlds of Exile and Illusion. And this is kind of an omnibus of the first 3 novels in the Hainish cycle, which is the sci-fi kind of world that I've been reading about recently. All the books within this, you can read them separately, you can read them in order, whatever you want. But I thought it would be great to have the first 3 novels. So you've got Ricannon's World, Planet of Exile and City of Illusions. And I'm extremely excited to read these because I've been loving all of Le Guin's writing at the moment. And then we finally got a thick book from Le Guin that isn't earthy. So this is The Wind's 12 Quarters and The Compass Rose. Now this is a collection of short stories, but I'm very happy to have it all in one big book so I can really hunker down with this, get a nice hot drink and just sit down and fall in love with her writing over and over again. I don't know what kind of books are in here. I'm gonna guess it's mainly science fiction. There might be some fantasy in there as well. I don't know too much. I just know that I really want to read this. And again, this was $3.99, which is just crazy cheap. And then we move right back round to some more charity shop book finds. One of them I've been meaning to read for a really long time and I was really happy to find it. That is Kensuke's Kingdom by Michael Morpurgo. When I was younger, I remember this book looking massive, and it was one of kind of the first books that I'd read by myself that wasn't Harry Potter as a kid, and something that I really enjoyed reading. So I want to give this a go as an adult. I think I only read it once. I don't remember too much about it. I know we're following a child and he basically falls off of his ship and he washes up on this island and there is someone there with him, and it's about their kind of relationship and how they communicate with each other. It's obviously going to be a very short read for me, but I'm very excited to see if I remember anything while I'm reading it and if I get those kind of nostalgic feelings from it as well. But I do remember absolutely loving Michael Morpurgo's writing. From what I remember, he's really good at character development and making kind of those emotional connections with the readers. And then we've got another children's novel. This is going to be part of my Studio Ghibli collection, so where I talk about the book that inspired the films. So it is The Borrowers by Mary Norton. I had this exact same book, this exact same edition when I was younger, and I never read it, and I'm really annoyed at myself for not doing it. But I'm going to read it now and I'm going to compare it to Arrietty, which, as far as I know, is the same story. They might have changed some stuff, but one of the main characters in this is called Arrietty, so I'm going to assume that it is the same story. I'll read it and then I guess I'll find out. Two more children's books to talk about. One of them was given to me very kindly by my friend Charlene, so thank you very much. And that is The Castle of Tangled Magic by Sophie Anderson. I never heard of this before, but I really like the way that the book looks, so I thought I would give it a go. So we're following 13-year-old Olia as she steps through a magical doorway and discovers another land. A land tangled by magic where hope is lost and a scheming wizard holds all the power. I'm probably going to love this. Anything to do with magic and wizards and adventure, I usually am totally on board with. So we've got that one. And then I also picked up from the charity shop The Stormkeeper's Island by Catherine Doyle. I don't know anything about this. I think I've seen a couple of reviews that were good, but I don't 100% remember. But from the blurb, I feel like it's going to be something I really enjoy. So once in a generation, Arranmore Island chooses a new Stormkeeper to wield its power and keep its magic safe from enemies. The time has come for Fion's grandfather, a secretive and eccentric old man, to step down. Soon a new keeper will rise. But deep underground, someone has been waiting for Fion. As the battle to become the island's next champion rages, a more sinister magic is waking up, intent on rekindling an ancient war. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be very magical and whimsical. Hopefully I got on really well with that one as well. And then another find from the charity shop is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Everyone was talking about the TV series. I never personally watched it, but my nan said that she thought that I'd really enjoy it, and after trusting her opinion and reading Where the Crawdads Sing, I'm going to trust her opinion again and try this book. This is set in a fantasy world full of witches, demons and vampires, so realistically I'm probably going to love this. The only thing is it's really thick, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to find time to read this. I think after I finish the A Song of Ice and Fire series and then maybe read some Robin Hobb, I can start on this. And then we've got two books from a genre that I don't generally read from, which is kind of that mystery crime. So the first one is Pine. This is one of those books I picked up for the cover because I just think it's amazing. It looks like it's going to be quite dark, so this is a mystery thriller. We are following Lauren and her father Niall, who live alone in the Highlands in a small village surrounded by forest. When a woman stumbles on the road one Halloween night, Niall drives her back to their house. In the morning she's gone. And then a teenager goes missing as well. And it feels like it's just going to be a super interesting thriller novel. That's not going to be too focused in on things that's super over the top. I feel like it might be quite a realistic one, so I'm excited to start on that one as well. And then the next book that I picked up is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ning. This is again one of those books that I haven't actually got much of an idea of what it's about, but I have heard really good things about it. And I have got this author's other book, which is Everything I Never Told You. I've not started on that yet, but I'm thinking that I will read both of these one after the other. They don't relate to each other, but I feel like it will be a really good thing for me to do to really get into this author's writing. I have heard really good things. I believe it's going to be kind of a mystery novel as well, but I'm not totally sure. I think it's going to focus in a lot on kind of the main character getting into their head again, lots of character development and things like that. So I'm very excited to have found this, even if it is a little bit defaced with the sticker. I've tried very hard to get that off, but it's okay. And I kind of saved the best till last because these two were a bargain. They were $2.99 each, and I haven't actually started the books from this author yet because I have been reading the Song of Ice and Fire series and it's just taking up most of my time. I don't want to start anything by this author yet because their books are quite big, but I have let my brother read the Farsi trilogy, so he started on those and he's told me that he thinks that I'm really going to enjoy them. So when I saw these, I thought that I would pick them up. So they're of course by Robin Hobb. So we have got book 1 in the Rainwild Chronicles, so that is The Dragon Keeper, and then book 2 as well, which is called Dragon Haven. And both of these are hardbacks with beautiful kind of iridescent effects on them. They didn't have the other 2 books, so they only had the first 2. But if I get on with them, I can always purchase the other 2 online. And it seems like they are both high fantasy novels, obviously surrounding dragons, so that's something that I'm really interested in. And I feel like I'm really going to love them. I hope so, because they're huge. If I put all that time in and don't enjoy them, that would be a bit of a bummer. But yeah, I was very excited when I found these. A little bit upset they didn't have the other 2, but that's okay. And then the last thing I'm going to show you isn't a book, but it's Bookmarks. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I do like to dog in my books, but sometimes I do like to use a bookmark, especially if I am kind of borrowing books from people. I don't want to deface them if they don't like that. So I bought these both from the Works. They are supporting Cancer Research UK, which is amazing. So we've got this one, which is the Bee Happy. It's got little bees and daisies on it, which is very cute. And then I just got one with some flowers and glitter on there. I usually use it that side because I like the pink, and you don't see the little logo anyway because it's tucked away in the book. They were both £1 each, so if you ever want some really cheap, high quality bookmarks, they feel really good, super flexible, and they don't break and anything like that. So definitely go to the Works and see what kind of ones they have. I think they change the collection maybe every couple of months. They seem to have different ones in there each time I go in, which is good. I'm finally going to start using bookmarks. Are you proud of me? That is finally it for this video. So they're all the books that I've picked up over the last couple of months. And hopefully I'll be able to get to most of those too. That is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!